I've worked with over 55 coaches to build and scale their coaching offer, and I keep seeing the 6 same problems that stop people like yourself from actually scaling your coaching business to 15, 20, 30K a month. These 6 myths are plagued around the coaching industry, maybe taught by dodgy gurus, also passed between people's families and relatives to the coaches, or just coaches on coaches telling each other bad advice. And having taken multiple of my clients to 5 figures a month plus, and also taken myself to making 55K just last month, I want to explain exactly why these 6 myths, once broken, they will take you without doubt to more profitable months than you've ever seen before. And the first myth that I have uncovered that I believe you should 100% focus on is you're not charging enough. You're probably told this all the time by gurus and mentors like myself online that you're not charging enough. But let me explain to you exactly why you need to charge more. And the problem that you are probably in right now is that you don't believe you can charge as much as people are telling you to charge. You're not charging the 4, 5, 6K that I believe you should be charging. And the problem with that is when you charge less, you actually attract worse customers. And that happens. And then what happens is this awful little cycle happens where you charge less, so you attract people who can only afford low prices. And the problem with people who can only afford low prices is they do not have the habits, they do not have the mindset, they do not have the maturity on most cases to be able to then afford the higher prices. And that means that they then are unable to get the results you want. Take this, for example. Say you were to work with people, you might be a PT, say you're working with like 18-year-olds, and they can probably only afford a few £100, maybe a few thousand at most. If you start working with them, they're going to have like habits, immaturity, problems with themselves. Whereas if you then work with a 40-year-old, man or woman who has developed themselves over years, they've got maturity and life experience, they're much less demanding, they're much easier to work with, and they've got habits and skills in place that will help them get quicker results. I found this, that as soon as I charged higher prices, I started attracting higher quality people, more mature people, and people that didn't demand so much, and people who are more likely to get results. So once you charge high prices, you then bring in better quality customers that get you better results, which then make your fulfillment system easier, which then allows you to bring in more clients because you get better testimonials. So charging higher prices quite literally means that your business will improve over the years. And charging low prices means you get stuck in this awful loop of not getting people results and people not basically being high enough caliber. It's almost not spoken about enough in the online space, but it's something I really believe in. High prices, bringing in high caliber people, which get high caliber results. The second thing about higher prices is when you charge your low prices, people can kind of discount it a little bit. They go, it's only a few £100, a few $100 a month. I can kind of forget about that. Whereas if you're charging high prices, like my program is low 5 figures, and when people pay that, no one just hands that to me straight away. It hurts them to pay. But at the same time, it means that every morning they wake up and they think they're going to have to work towards getting it. And that means I get an incredibly high commitment. And one of the best things that I can do and suggest for you in your coaching business is just to charge higher prices so that your clients feel a larger commitment. But so what happens if, more people say no? Well, great, because if you double your price and you get half the amount of people saying yes, then at the end of the day, you still make the same amount of money, but you get better quality customers and you get more commitment. So increasing your price, yes, it might mean that you have to suffer some more no's, but at the same time, it doesn't actually change the money you make as well. So let me just get that limiting belief out of the way as well with the higher prices. So that's the first myth, is you can't charge higher prices. But the second is that the best marketer wins, because I see a lot of people online talking to you, probably seen the few people pushing this around, that say the best marketer wins. I don't believe that at all, actually, because the problem with the best marketer is great at acquiring customers. If you make great quality content, you find it very easy to bring in clients. But then the problem with that is after a bit of time, people will realize that you might not be getting the results. You might be attracting a load of people coming in. But I believe wholeheartedly that sales pay for dinner. So great marketing pays for dinner, but results pays for retirement. And that's why you might have seen my testimonials channel where I have hundreds of good things said about me, because of the fact that I believe that the most important thing you can do as a coach is to get incredible results, because that makes a buying decision for a customer who's thinking about working for you a lot less risky. So make sure that while your marketing should be good and while your content should be good, you should also focus on results. because if you focus on results, you don't even have to market. There's a guy called Naval Ravikant you may have heard of, and he says that people who have to do a lot of sales and marketing just don't have a good enough product. And that's pretty much how I rely on for myself. I just talk about my testimonials as much as possible, and that does the best attracting of clients. Not necessarily great marketing, but just talking about the great results. You notice at the start of the video, I mentioned I've taken multiple people to 10 and 20K months with their coaching business from zero. And that is what's most important to me, not being able to say, I'm a great marketer. So with your coaching business, make good content, but focus on smashing it out of the park for clients you already have. Okay, another myth is that you should post value. Myth number 3. Because the thing is, value is good, but everyone can outvalue you. Everyone is going to know more about the subject you're talking about than you. If you're a PT and you're talking about how to lose weight, well, a scientist, a biologist has more knowledge about that subject than you do. If you're talking about ads, then you're never going to be the greatest expert on ads. If you're talking about, I don't know, nutrition, you're not going to be quite as good as a PhD level nutritionist. So the thing about value is you will always lose that game. But one game you can never lose is the game of being yourself, being authentic. One of the biggest myths that we're told is to post value online. And while value is good, and it can be good in the B2B space, there are thousands of people doing the exact same business that you are doing. And the only thing that is going to make you stand out is you. No one, you need to become the niche. You need to become the person that people buy from. People buy from me because they want to talk about being in places like Bali, where I am now, or being in tropical locations, being able to live where they want, a fulfillment. Quite literally, I have competitors that say, I don't care about fulfillment. I want to build a business that makes tons of money. And while I do focus on making people money, I also believe that there's a bit more to life than just making tons and tons of money. And people who believe that will come to me because I talk about that. And people who believe in making tons and tons of money, and that's the only thing that's important, will go to my competitors. So while value is good, it is so important to put yourself out there, to put your values out there. And I see coach after coach not doing that. And that basically leads them to end up just being drowned out by the people that have the better testimonials, that know more about the subject than they do. So be your own niche, make your own brand in the content, be authentic, and that's what people will buy from. So the fourth myth that I see is that people have an offer that is too complicated. When you're starting and until you're at least 100K a month with your coaching business, there is no need to have multiple offers. One offer to one avatar using one funnel will get you to 100K a month. So unless you're watching this video right now and you're making 100K a month plus, then please make sure you have one very, very clear offer. It solves one pain point for someone, and you get people in a certain mechanism, and it's a certain price. Do not overcomplicate things. We do not need to reinvent the coaching wheel. Keep it super simple, and that is scalable. Simple is scalable. And at the same time, you will bring in people that are very aware of your offer. They're not, okay, do you do this? What do you do? They're like, okay, you do this, and I need help with that, so I would like to buy from you. It's very simple. It's very easy to scale an offer that way. And I see coach after coach having a downsell and an upsell and a lower tier offer and a higher tier offer and an offer for this person and an offer for this person. Keep it incredibly simple, and that will scale, I can promise you. Then you're at 100K a month, and then we can have a different conversation. And by the way, if you want to have a conversation about actually scaling your coaching business to 20K a month, then just book a link in the call. It's a no pressure sales call. You can leave your credit card at home. It'll be a chat with my team to get a very good understanding of if you are a good fit for us to take you to that 20K a month. As I said, we've done it with multiple clients, and we are becoming experts on how to scale coaches, and we'd love to have a chat and see if you're a good fit for the program. So you can book a link in the description. Back to myth number 5. So one thing that I would say is having a clear transformation is very key. One of the biggest problems that I see is people do not understand the human being, coaches do not understand the human being they're trying to speak to and the transformation they're promising. I, for example, see a lot of PTs working with people who, they're like, is the clear transformation, I want you to lose a certain amount of fat? Is it, I want you to be able to run quicker? And what happens is, because you want to bring in more and more clients, and I understand what it's like, you want to make more and more money, you basically just say yes to everyone. And then the problem is you have one person who's trying to lose weight and get out for a run just one day a week, and another person who's training for a marathon, and there's no clear clarity in the person you want. So it's very important to focus on a specific type of person and a problem that they have, and be very clear that you take that person to their dream outcome, and you do that over and over and over and over again for multiple people to become an expert in that. I'm I'm an expert at taking coaches from less than 5K a month all the way to 20K a month. I am an expert in that. And you need to be very clear in what your expert transformation is, because it will help you to understand their pain points. It will help you to understand the content you make, and it will help to reinforce your marketing that will then continue to bring in more and more people with that. So that's a very clear transformation that I know, and very clear transformation you need to have. And a big myth is that you should bring in everyone into the coaching offer. You just need to have a very clear transformation. Then the sixth myth is that you need to copy people in your industry. While I'm a big fan in you copying like content styles and taking inspiration from other people, the biggest problem that I see with a lot of coaches is they look at the market leader in their field and they try and emulate what they're doing. And the issue with that is that person has so many intangible factors that cause their content to do well, that cause people to buy from them, that you just don't have yet. They probably have thousands of testimonials. They probably have a face that people recognize. So when people see a hook of theirs or when people see a thumbnail, they click on because they know the value they've received in the past. The problem with you is you're trying to build your coaching brand right now. If you're under 20K, then your brand is still not big enough to be repeatedly attracting clients. And you need to stop looking at the people and comparing yourself to the people who are making the 300, 500, 1 million a month. And you need to compare yourself to just the people a few steps ahead of you. That's the easiest way to basically improve your business, and look at other people in your field and emulate what they're doing. Stop trying to copy people with the big followings and the big businesses, because they simply have a completely different problem set and factors at play that you have. I speak to too many coaches that are like, I want to make their style content. And I'm like, the difference with your and their content is people are just happy to watch them. People are happy to watch me because of the value that I've built up over time. But right now with your business, you need to be earning that trust and earning that value to start with, before people are like, I'll click on whatever they want if the hook sucks or something like that. So stop comparing yourself to the biggest names in the industry. And that is myth number 6. Thanks for watching.